Hey guys, someone here from WynnStrength. On today's training tip video, I wanted to talk about how I like to use my lifting belt. This isn't a discussion really about what type of belt to use. I'll make one of those up in a little bit, but I am partial to the Pioneer adjustable lever belt. Pretty much all the pros of a lever belt and all the pros of a buckle belt, because you have these little half-inch adjustments there. But check out a video here where I talk about the Pioneer adjustable belt. I think it's a really cool device and a great way to retrofit any existing lever belt. In any case, talking about how I like to use a lifting belt. So starting off with, you don't want to wear your belt too tight. Don't think of this as a corset for training. So it's not providing like an extra layer of external support in order to help you lift the weight. So you're not putting it there in order to stabilize the back by itself. You're kind of using a belt in order to allow your torso and your abdomen to breathe out against something. So one thing that helps lift heavy weights is the ability to expand out your entire midsection, not just the stomach, but your obliques as well as your lower back. You really want to make that as large as possible. Think of a 360-degree pressure cave, kind of like a soda can. What the belt does is it allows you to push harder against an external force. So think of an oak barrel for alcohol. They have those braces around the side because the barrel is going to bulge out. You want to think about using the belt like a barrel rather than trying to make your torso an hourglass. And what I mean by that is you don't really want to crank down on the belt. So, I mean, this doesn't have that much adjustment once it's set. But if we go to the tightest setting, and if you're there trying to crank down as much as you can, and you're not allowing your torso to like push out, you're losing a lot of the advantages of using a lifting belt. If anything, I would say try and have your belt on a little looser than you think you should. I usually practice with it a few times and get used to that feeling, because you want to give your core some space in order to breathe out and expand into. So it should, when it's on and you're kind of just standing there relaxed, you should be able to leave the belt on all the time, because it really shouldn't restrict any breathing. There shouldn't be any discomfort with having the belt on in every day. You should be able to wear this at that tightness where it doesn't really affect you like a regular belt. A good gauge is like you can squeeze in a hand, or like if you breathe in a little bit, your fingers can kind of stick in there a little bit. But what that allows you to do is it allows you to kind of push out into the belt. I don't know if you can capture on the camera, but if you look at it, you're kind of breathing out into the belt and pushing your core out as much as possible. I like to think of pushing my obliques out, because that kind of by default activates your front abs and your lower back as well. But you really want to think of when you inhale, you're breathing into your diaphragm. So your shoulders shouldn't rise up. You shouldn't be like, your shoulders shouldn't be rising up. Your core should be kind of expanding out. So as you take that deep belly breath in, you're kind of expanding into the belt. So if you look here, I don't think the camera really gets it, but if you put your belt on and you kind of try and feel it, you should feel the belt kind of exert some pressure, some resistance as you inhale. Telltale sign is your shoulder shouldn't be rising up. And if the belt is too tight, again, the other reason why you don't want that is it doesn't allow you to get in that full belly breath. So the reason that full belly breath is good is, again, like the soda can. If you grab a regular soda can off the shelf and you try and squeeze it, there's a little bit of give in those thin aluminum walls. Now, if you shake it up a lot, as much as you can, and you squeeze in, it feels a lot tighter. It's harder to squeeze that can in because that pressure inside is creating some internal force to push out. And that's really how you want to think about your entire midsection, kind of stemming from the core and kind of radiating around, obviously, and then up throughout the entire torso. So you're creating this pressure that's building out. That way, when you're squatting down and you squat back up, there's no chance that your body, it makes it more difficult for power to leak out as you push up, and your back, anything moves when that weight should be the only thing moving up and down, because when we see any part of the body move as you drive up from a squat or any movement, that's power leak. You're losing power because you're pushing up with all of your force. If you imagine this is the weight, if you're pushing up and your lower back starts to move, that's wasted energy. Whereas if you push up and the only thing that moves up and down is that barbell, there's no wasted energy there. So you're exerting as much force as you physically can onto the barbell rather than exerting that force into the body and losing it before it's even able to hit the barbell. Hopefully that helps. This has been Sam from WynnStrength, and remember, a better life through strength.